When the dust settled in Azerbaijan, McLaren's weekend had unravelled into a nightmare. Oscar Piastri crashed out on the very first lap, while Lando Norris could manage no better than 7th, 6 points gained. Meanwhile, Max Verstappen delivered a flawless performance, taking his second consecutive win and cutting the once insurmountable championship gap down to 69 points. Suddenly, what was meant to be McLaren's season of dominance has been rattled to its core. Zak Brown and Andrea Stella didn't hold back after Baku. Both admitted what everyone had been whispering for weeks. Verstappen is once again a serious threat, and if Red Bull's upgrades continue to deliver, the title fight could spiral into the most chaotic three-way showdown Formula One has seen in years. Before we dive into the twists and theories surrounding this seismic shift in the 2025 title battle, make sure to hit subscribe because the next few weeks of this season could rewrite F1 history and you don't want to miss it. So, is this the beginning of Max Verstappen's greatest ever comeback? Can Red Bull's upgrades sustain this charge? Or will McLaren strike back in Singapore to reassert control? And, more importantly, will Piastri and Norris hold their nerve under pressure? Or could the cracks within McLaren start to widen? The Azerbaijan Grand Prix was supposed to be a stepping stone for McLaren's title ambition. After months of consistency and victories, Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris look set to maintain their grip on the championship picture. But in the high-speed chaos of Baku, everything changed. McLaren stumbled badly, and Max Verstappen seized the moment like a predator sensing weakness. What was once seen as a distant mathematical possibility has suddenly become a living, breathing threat. Verstappen is back, and McLaren knows it. Let's begin with a scale of the disaster for McLaren. Their problems began before the lights even went out on Sunday. Qualifying set the tone. Both Norris and Piastri made costly errors in Q3, brushing the barriers and ending their sessions prematurely. Norris had to settle for 7th, Piastri 9th. Meanwhile, Verstappen delivered an ice-cold pole position lap, staking his claim as the man to beat. That single moment already hinted at what was to come. Verstappen in control, McLaren chasing shadows. On race day, disaster struck almost immediately. Piastri, desperate to make up ground, jumped the start. His car dropped into anti-stall, and in an instant he was at the back of the field. Credit to the Australian, his recovery drive in the opening corners showed resilience. But then came the killer blow. Pushing too hard into turn 5, Piastri misjudged his braking and ended up in the barriers. A rare mistake from a driver who has been near faultless all year, and one that cost him dearly. No points, no redemption, just a broken front end and a broken weekend. Lando Norris didn't fare much better. Starting P7, he became stuck in a DRS train behind Yuki Tsunoda and Liam Lawson. For a driver who has fought tooth and nail at the front this season, the frustration was visible. Norris finished where he started, 7th, 6 points for McLaren, when it could have been so much more. Andrea Stella's blunt assessment summed it up. This was not a good day for both drivers. That's an understatement. For a team leading both championships, it was a disaster. On the other side of the garage divide, Verstappen thrived. This wasn't just another victory, it was a demonstration of raw authority. Red Bull's upgrades, first seen in Monza, have clearly transformed the RB21. The car is no longer just a specialist on low-drag tracks. It's competitive everywhere, medium-speed corners, low-speed corners, and straight-line performance. Verstappen exploited it perfectly. From pole position, he controlled the race, managed his tyres, and never looked under threat. It was the kind of performance that breaks morale, not just scoring points, but sending a message. I'm still here. And that's exactly what worries McLaren. Andrea Stella admitted after Baku, "We're talking about Max Verstappen. We're talking about Red Bull." The tone wasn't casual, it was layered with respect and concern. McLaren knows that Verstappen, with a competitive car beneath him, is capable of extraordinary consistency. Zak Brown echoed those fears, admitting his team must be wary of a Verstappen charge. For a team that had been building confidence, those words marked a shift in mentality. McLaren is now looking over its shoulder. If Red Bull's development path continues upward, Villeneuve sees no reason why Verstappen can't complete the comeback. Charles Leclerc, however, is skeptical. He insists the battle remains between Piastri and Norris, saying he would be really surprised if Verstappen pulls off such a recovery. Yet even Leclerc, despite his doubts, acknowledged that Red Bull has made a real step forward. The intrigue deepens when you consider McLaren's internal dynamics. Up to now, Piastri and Norris have coexisted relatively peacefully, each with their own strengths, but united by the team's overall success. But if Verstappen continues to eat into their lead, McLaren may face tough decisions. Do they throw their weight behind one driver to maximize their chances? And if so, who gets the nod? Norris, the experienced hand who has been the face of McLaren for years, or Piastri, the sensational young talent who has led much of the championship? These are the kinds of decisions that can fracture a team's harmony. Red Bull, by contrast, faces no such dilemma. Their allegiance to Verstappen is absolute. That clarity could prove decisive. Another factor is pressure. Both Norris and Piastri are still relatively young in championship terms. They've never been in a knife-edge three-way fight for the title with someone as ruthless as Verstappen breathing down their necks. Mistakes like the ones in Baku can snowball when the psychological load intensifies. Every qualifying run, every pit stop, every overtaking attempt becomes a potential trigger point. Verstappen, on the other hand, thrives in these conditions. He's been here before. He knows how to exploit rivals' weaknesses both on and off the track. Looking ahead, Singapore looms as a crucial test. On paper, it's a circuit that should favour McLaren's package: tight, technical, with less emphasis on outright straight-line speed. Stella himself said he hopes Singapore will bring them back into contention for victories. But if Red Bull's newfound pace translates to a track like Marina Bay, then alarm bells will ring louder than ever in Woking. A Verstappen win there would transform the comeback from improbable dream to looming inevitability. In many ways, this is the perfect storm for Formula One. What was shaping up to be a straightforward McLaren duel between Norris and Piastri has been shaken apart. Now we're staring down the barrel of one of the greatest comeback stories in modern F1 history. The reigning champion, written off by many after a difficult start, clawing his way back into contention. Two hungry McLaren stars desperate to prove themselves, but suddenly under siege. And a Red Bull team that seems to have rediscovered its edge at exactly the right time. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. This fight isn't just about points anymore. It's about psychology, momentum, and survival.